Fear, anxiety, and OCD. Coming up next on Pastor Bob's Coffee Break. Oh yeah, it's my mug with a mug on a mug. Drinking Headbangers Brew, our coffee. And once again, you can get all of these things right here. wearemedal.com. Our question today says, Dear Pastor Bob, I've been watching your channel for some time now. Thank you. You have helped me a lot with different issues I was having. I struggle a lot with anxiety and fear. And I also have OCD where I get bad thoughts that come into my head about God. I also struggle a bit with alcohol. It's a lot of struggle, isn't it? And I'm sorry you're going through this, but I have good news today. And there is a path to freedom. Let's talk about it. And let's turn to 1 John 4:18. And, you know, this is one of the love chapters. 1 John 4:7 and 8 says, Beloved, let us love one another, for love comes from God, and everyone that loves is born of God and knows God. But he that doesn't love doesn't know God, because God is love. Well, then it goes on, and in verse 18 it says, There is no fear in love. Dread does not exist. Now, I want to underline this part first, because you see, perfect love casts out all fear. Perfect love does. Agape love does. God's love isn't just warm fuzzies, but God's love is all encompassing, and it drives out those things that are opposed to love. There is no fear, none, no fear in love. Dread does not exist, but full-grown, complete, perfect love drives out fear and expels every trace of terror. For love brings with it the thought of punishment. And so he who is afraid is not perfected in love, has not grown into a sufficient understanding of God's love, his complete perfection. So this is an important concept, folks, and it's one that we need to get. First of all, is there anyone that you know that has grown into this place of complete love and there's nothing else that gets in there? No. But this is our model. And this is talking about love itself, agape love itself. What is the nature of agape love? And the nature of agape love is there's no fear. Dread doesn't exist in agape love. When God gave you his agape love, he gave you this whole complete package where there's no fear, there's no dread. Full-grown, complete, perfect love drives out all fear. It can't exist in the same place, and it expels every trace of terror. Why? Because God's love is the absence of terror. It's peace. For fear brings with it the thought of punishment. It does. And so he who is afraid is not perfected in love, has not grown into a sufficient understanding of God's love, his complete perfection. So this is what we really need to understand, is that whenever we're fearful, whenever we have anxiety, OCD, whatever drives us to these places, we need to understand that our foundation needs to grow a little broader. Our acceptance of God's love needs to get a little stronger. And I need to remind myself of these principles, that perfect love, complete perfect love, drives out fear and expels every trace of terror. It drives it out, and it gives me comfort, and it gives me peace. Because he who is afraid has not perfected love. That's all of us. That is all of us. But we need to understand that when we get to that place, we need to put on the complete love of God. Put it on. And realize that this is our gift from God. Complete love. And when we accept his complete love, everything else leaves. I know I can be fearless because God's love casts out all fear. That's important. Well, folks, don't forget you are blessed. So go and be a blessing.